Good evening, everyone out there. Our special edition that is a combination of sponsorships for Black History Month. Black History Month, as everybody knows, it starts out in the whole month of February where you talk about accomplishments that African Americans have accomplished throughout the years. One of the things I noticed that I wanted to make sure that we honored and highlighted veterans, I call them Black patriots because it could be active duty or and our veterans who have contributed their lives to our country and sacrificed their lives regardless of what's going on. A lot of times people always ask themselves, why we gotta do color? Why we gotta do color? We're all green. Yeah, we may be all green when we're in the military, but when we leave the military, we come back to where we're right now. And this is who I am in the military, and as a veteran, where we don't really, where all of a sudden we are subject to discrimination and that kind of stuff. And one thing you guys may have noticed is that you rarely see media that portrays African Americans actually fighting and dying for the country. So I want to change that narrative, and let's for the next month of February, we're going to give out some insights on what exactly Americans have done. But before I go any further than this, I first got to announce my sponsors. The sponsors for this specific broadcast will be the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, Gamma Eta Sigma Alumni chapter, military chapter, GOMA. We also sponsored by the St. Pete NAACP branch, 5130 in St. Pete. And of course, we're also sponsored by Veterans Counseling Veterans. Thank you for our sponsors. But before we start this broadcast, here's my intro. Good evening, everybody out there. It's like a nice Monday. Some of you guys still getting the rust off, the weekend and stuff. But I wanted to do this event because I really wanted people to understand that veterans did have a major role. When African American veterans have a major role when it comes to accomplishments and sacrifice throughout the years, and you really don't hear much people talk about it. And that's what I noticed, that there's not much talk about it. And I want to be part of that person and say, look, we had a part, we had a play, and we're going to honor this for Black History Month. So what I want to first do, when my first event that I did when I first started out was talking to our youth, because our youth must know they have value. And I want to just show something real quick that I've done it's on the 1st of February. It was part of the Gamma Eta Sigma. We spoke to some young kids at Hope Center, privately owned school that focuses on underserved kids. And I wanted them to hear a message they don't really hear much about. You know why? Because most of the message you hear about African Americans is negative. Getting killed, getting shot, getting beaten up, whatever, and you really hear anything positive. And those are our generations. And I thought I wanted to change that particular narrative with this particular event here. Hold on. We love you guys and we care about you guys. So I want you to say real quick to me, you are loved. Say it real good. Hit. You are loved. All right, you're loved. And that's why we're here. Your worth is high. Just want you to know that. So, like a lot of these guys here, I'm a veteran too. Right? Yes. I'm a Army veteran. But I'm going to tell you something about my story. I actually dropped out of high school. I am the bona fide high school dropout. I joined the military. At that time, they in the military. And they identified when I was in formation, they said, "Oh, Williams, aren't you the high school dropout? The dummy? How did they get you in here?" That's what I had to face going. Now, fast forward, because of the military, I'm not trying to sell the military, but fast forward, because of that, I was able to get my GED, got an ROTC scholarship, I got my master's degree in counseling. Wow. Counseling. Now, the question in here is, how many, first of all, I just want to know, how many people in here know somebody who's in the military? Just raise your hand. Yep. You don't know that. A lot of us are related to the military in one form or the other. I just want to make sure who I'm talking to. Okay, now, when I retired, one thing I wanted to get across to that particular video there is that they are loved. I mean, our children out there, they are loved. of what we do for them, and they need to know that, right? They need to know that through all that negativity we see on TV, um, that's something that happens all the time. Is being loved. So one of the things, a message I want to send to people out there who are doing things with Black History Month, the major thing I want to emphasize is that you can only combat negativity with positivity, positivity, because that is all our children are fed on day and night by the mainstream media. When I say mainstream media, it's all about negativity. We're gonna die. You're stuck. Whatever like that. And I think for anybody out there who you have to start out with love, love, love. We have to love our children. We have to show them that we love them, and we have to show them that care. That's the first thing I think we need to do when it comes to celebrating Black History Month. So that's what I did to those children at Hope Center in Tampa. And I want to congratulate the nonprofit out there who are teaching our kids. We need to go out there when it comes to taking care of them, but also knowing their love. But that's not why we're here. Because the reason why we're here tonight is that I want to sit there and I want to announce what we're going to be doing this week for Veterans Council of Veterans. We are going to celebrate what I call Black History Month. And you see here's, all the sponsors of, in St. Pete, NAACP, Gamma, Eta, Phi Beta Sigma, in honor of Black History Month. Thank you for your service, Black Patriots. Thank you for your service. That, you don't hear much about that, but I want us to say it here, and we got to start getting used to that. So basically how, I know it's in reverse order, but our first interview would be Aubrey McDade, who's a retired Marine. He received the Silver Cross for valor. And I want to show a little video on Aubrey when he said, here's a quick video on that.
Hannah Mullins explains what he did to earn the second highest award for heroism.
It's not uncommon to hear the term hero, but Gunnery Sergeant Brian Jacklin sure seems to raise the bar.
Let us pray. When it seems that hell itself has broken loose.
That's what happened 3 years ago in Afghanistan. Enemies surrounded the team and launched hails of gunfire. Most would run, but these are Marines.
I was on the rooftop and then I was shot and slumped over and realized I was paralyzed.
Derek Herrera was the company commander. When he went down, Gunnery Sergeant Brian Jacklin took control, but the only way out the building was through the gunfire.
I asked the guys, I said, look, does anyone have a problem with risking it to take these guys out there? Because if we don't, they're going to die here. And there wasn't a second hesitation. Everyone says, I'm in, let's do it.
They blew a hole through the wall, then used their bodies as shields to get Herrera and the other injured sergeant to the aircraft. Jacklin stayed back for a 48-hour gun battle, and that's why he earned the Navy Cross.
You are and always will be the guardian angels of the man on the ground.
So I'm sorry about that. That was a definitely a mistake here. I wanted to get Dr. Sergeant McDade here. Let me get McDade real quick. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Let me get to the other one. Our other person we're going to be interviewing on this is Sergeant First Class.
Central Florida soldier who paid the ultimate sacrifice for his country. In just hours, President Biden will award the Medal of Honor to Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe, 16 years after his death. Ezzy Castro is following the story live for us. Ezzy, the Seminole County native, is credited with saving his fellow soldiers.
Yes, Cashe rescued a driver and 6 soldiers from a burning vehicle in Iraq 16 years ago. Now he will become the first Black service member to be recognized with the military's top combat award for actions since 9/11.
During a ceremony at the White House, the President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, will present the Medal of Honor to Master Sergeant Plum Lee and will also present the Medal of Honor posthumously to Sergeant First Class Cashe and Sergeant First Class Solis.
After years of waiting, Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe will be awarded the Medal of Honor by President Biden. The Oviedo High School graduate died in 2005 after he sacrificed his life to save other soldiers from an explosion in Iraq. He was 35 years old.
The story of his heroism, running inside a burning vehicle not once but 3 times to save his fellow soldiers. What I don't think is as well known is as he was evacuated to the military hospital, literally with his uniform burnt to his body.
Florida Congressman Mike Waltz and Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy pushed a bill that was signed into law last year so that Cashe could be honored. We spoke to Cashe's family members not long ago when they got the news. And today, his widow Tamara will be the one to accept the Medal of Honor at the White House on his behalf.
He was a heck of a man, because I don't know if I could have done that.
And the ceremony is set to begin at 1:30 at the White House. We will have it live right here on News 6 and clickorlando.com. Kirsten.
Such an amazing story. Thank you, Ezzy.
So that's something I don't know if you guys, a lot of things know about that, about Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe. But we also have one of our people we're going to be interviewing is Aubrey McDade. Aubrey McDade was awarded the Navy Cross. And as you see here, and one of the things that's unique about this Navy Cross is that Aubrey is the second African American to receive the Navy Cross. The other African American will be Dory Miller, and we're going to interview him, and we're going to talk about his valor that occurred when he was in the Marines. Again, this is something that you don't hear much about, and I want to make sure that we all know about what's going on with our African American veterans who are part of this. And Aubrey is going to be one of them as well. And last but not least, we got the family of Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe, who are from Oviedo, Florida, right down the street. And he got the award last year. And we also want to, and we're going to interview Colonel Shabazz, Khallid Shabazz. Colonel Khallid Shabazz is actually the highest ranking Muslim officer in the military. He's an 06 at CENTCOM, and he has a riveting story, I think a great story that we need to hear. And he brings on that not only is African American, but also bring on the Muslim. So those two things there are kind of taboo. You don't hear much about when you hear the narrative of a veteran, but he is doing that. So we're going to interview him. We're going to interview Colonel Shabazz on the 20th of February. Oh boy, I tell you, I made a little error there. Sorry about that, but I just want to make sure that we're prepared for this. Starting on the 13th of February, we're going to be interviewing Navy Cross recipient Aubrey McDade, Marine. On the 20th of February, we'll be interviewing Colonel Khallid Shabazz, the highest-ranking Muslim chaplain in the military. And lastly, we're going to be interviewing the families of Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe, who posthumously received the Medal of Honor. We're going to have some of his families. We're also going to have some of his friends who know him, so we can talk about, and he's not forgotten. It's important that these veterans are not forgotten, and that's what we're going to do on our end. I want to thank our sponsors for the Gamma Eta Sigma chapter from Phi Beta Sigma, the St. Pete NAACP, and the Veterans Council of Veterans for giving me the opportunity for Black History Month to sit there and thank you for your service, our Black veterans. Whew. So anyway, I just want to, really quick, give you that little bit of insight. I hope to see you guys next week. Every Monday, 7 p.m. You'll see this interview. Next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be talking to the Marine Aubrey McDade, who was awarded the Navy Cross. Until then, this is Veteran Council of Veterans. I hope to see you guys next week, the 13th of February, 7 p.m. Until then, Tony Williams, Veterans Council of Veterans, out.